Yo, what's up, droners? B here, and guess what? More droner news because we have some really interesting things going on. But before we get into that, I wanted to bring something up. Is that it has been mentioned in the comments that there was an interesting painting behind me that involves Star Trek, and you're right. Actually, it's right here. And this was done by Maya Osborne. She's actually Tony, camera guy's wife, and she's a super talented artist. As you can see, that's her actually over my right shoulder over here. And if you could check her out on Instagram at Maya_visual art. Yeah, at Maya_visual art. She's incredible, super great writer, like all of the above, super talented, and she's amazing. So check her out. And you need to check out this genre news, so let's jump in. All right, coming in at number one, we have the Defense Department okaying the ability for military bases to, let's call it dispose of drones over their airspace. And this one is quite interesting. If you guys look at the genre news from last week, it was talking about how the military, specifically the Army, was saying that DJI is not allowed to have, or excuse me, military personnel are not allowed to have DJI drones anywhere near any of their stuff because it's a Chinese manufactured drone, which we assume that because we don't know. They just said you're not allowed to have them anymore. And now they're also saying if there's one of these drones over our military bases, then that military base has the authority to be able to remove that threat. And it doesn't specifically say how. Like they can literally shoot them down, or that, you know, as I've talked about before in drone news, there's actually radar guns or jamming guns that can make it land itself. Or they might just pull out some of those Falcons and Eagles that we've seen on the other droner news and take them down. There's a lot of ways they can get creative to take your drones down. So lesson of the day here is if you're gonna be flying, make sure you're not flying near a military base. Or like we can reference my other droner dialogue video, or I think it might've been the first one, was when I actually got a little bit in trouble for flying and filming near a military installation. It wasn't a base, but it was just like a federal facility. It was a interesting story. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. But the police definitely gave me a hard time for that, and it doesn't seem like that would be the case anymore, as I would have just lost my drone. So be careful where you fly, droners, and yeah, we'll keep our eye on what happens because of this. Coming number two, after I have moved my computer, we're gonna talk about a new art installation in London. Now, this one is really weird. Actually, I'd say this one is random because it is done by a company called Random International. And they've opened an interactive art exhibit that has 7 like balloon drones that interact with you. Now, I don't quite completely understand the purpose of this, but it's art, bro. Like, that's what it is. So it's literally like you go into this room and there's these large white balloons with props on the side that move them around, and they actually interact with you. So you walk over here, then they'll float in a pattern over here. If you dance around there, they'll do this. And there's also like choreographed dances that go along with these. But the idea of them is that they're actually randomized so that you can't really predict what they're gonna do. And they're still gonna do all kind of random interactions with each other and with you based upon the people that are in the space. So it's interactive because it doesn't start really doing anything. They all kind of just float in place until somebody walks in. And as soon as somebody walks in, it just goes into this random generator of like different shapes and things that they can do. Like I said, dancers have already made choreographed things that trigger different kind of patterns in them. So this is really cool. And the reason I bring it up is because, I mean, this is one of the weirder applications of drones that I've ever seen. And it's art. And it's like when you bring art and technology together, it makes me really happy because it's like creativity with no real like actual purpose to this. Like there's no like, in the sense of like, there's no, almost everything we talk about in drone news, there's like a definite applicable thing. Like we could say this is what this is for. It's going to create this. It's going to make this. It's going to make that. But this one is like, no, this is art for art's sake, and they're using drones for it. And I think it fits wonderfully into why we love drones at Droner. So yeah, check it out. It's really weird. All right, coming number 3. Yeah, we late. I know. My bad. I take blame for this. But ESPN1, as you may or may not know, most of you probably already do know because a lot of my friends texted me about it, was airing the Drone Racing League's championships, and they're over. And the final race happened on ESPN1. It featured the best 8 pilots, and who had the best finishes following the other 5 races, which took place in Boston, Miami, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Munich. And if you don't know about what goes on at these races, like obviously they're drone races, they're really fast. They're going up to 80 miles an hour, doing like 180-degree turns, like flips, and all kind of crazy stuff through an obstacle course that was pretty much designed to make it as difficult as possible to get a good time on the course. It's really intense and very interesting to watch on ESPN if you haven't done it yet. Either way, just want to give a big shout out to the winner. His name is Jordan Jet Timken, who also actually won last year. We may have a Jordan-esque player that's being made in drone racing. We'll see. But either way, he's the back-to-back championship, and he also is American. Blam, we out here. And on top of that, he got money. He made $100,000, and he's only 25 years old. So congratulations to you, Jet. I hope you're balling out and be responsible and don't spend it all in one place. Coming up next, we have DJI announcing a new flight mode for their drones. Now, when I first heard this story, I got really excited because I was like, oh, sweet, we're gonna have like another fixed wing mode for the Mavic or another tap fly or another tripod mode or something similar. It's like, nah. This is actually a direct retaliation reaction to what we talked about last week with the Army saying that they don't want to have DJI drones involved with any of their operations, as well as now this week in the first story I said is the Army's gonna shoot them drones down. So DJI was like, so on top, after that Army released that statement, that memo that I talked about last week, a lot of other companies were like, wait. Hold on a second. Hollywood producers, like people doing like inspections, all these people were just like, wait. Are you telling me that all the stuff that we shoot gets uploaded to a server? It's not just ours? Like, what's going on with that? Like, who has my information? Who has all the things that I shot? Because these things are sensitive. These things are worth a lot of money. These things are meant to not be shared with anyone. That's why I take it with a camera that I thought was a regular camera. Are you telling me my camera is connected to a server that's taking all my stuff? And DJI was like, oh, see what had happened was, like we have been developing this new system of flight that doesn't exactly do that. So we're not gonna speak to what exactly happened in the past, but we can say in the very near future, which is undisclosed because we don't have a date for you, we are going to release a new flight mode that's called local data mode. Yay, right? Because that means that it's only on local data and your stuff won't be uploaded anywhere because this is what we need, right? We've been doing this, you guys. Like we just, wanted to keep everybody safe. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on right now. DJI is just like, oh, my bad. We weren't taking all your stuff. So we're going to actually make it so that you can feel better about it, even though there's still no guarantee that we're not doing that. So DJI is doing that. And we're definitely going to be keeping a really close eye on it because even for me as a professional drone pilot, some of the clients I shoot for, I have to sign a agreement or contract saying that all of the footage that I'm giving them is exclusive to them. And if I can't guarantee that because on the back end, DJI is actually reselling my footage to someone else because they have it now too, then I would be the one to breach a contract, or I'd have to double sue or counter sue or whatever it is, I don't know the legal term, to DJI to say, hey, I was unaware that this was happening. And they're like, well, you signed the small print when you signed up for DJI Go or whatever. And it just become a thing that would really suck. So I'm gonna be keeping a very close eye on this, as well as all of you should be doing. So just for FYI, the local data mode is claimed to be able to not sync your photos, videos, and flight logs with DJI servers at all, which also gives added privacy. And however, you will also lose access to the geofencing capabilities, map updates, flight restriction warnings, and software updates. So it's like, you get something, you lose something. All right, and coming up last but not least, but definitely the most comical story on today's Droner News, is in the UK, they're pretty much doing the exact opposite of what the US military is doing. Is there's a guy, a photographer going by the handle Black Isle Images. He was flying his Phantom and accidentally made an emergency landing on Britain's largest warship, the HMS Queen Elizabeth. And he was like, oh crap, I gotta land. He had an emergency landing and he landed on an actual warship. And then, he was able to figure out a way, oh, okay, cool, the drone's fine. He ended up flying it off the ship and then bringing it back home. And then this guy's a really responsible pilot because it sounds to me like he didn't actually have a choice of where he was landing. He didn't want to land it there. But he landed it there, and then he went over to the guards and was like, hey guys, first of all, when he landed it there, nothing happened. Nobody touched his drone, nobody affected. Literally the whole deck was just cleared. Nobody even noticed it. Then after that, he went over to the guards and was like, hey guys, I just thought I'd let you know, I just landed my drone on your ship. I'm so sorry. I'm willing to face the consequences. Take me. Pretty much that's what he did. And they were just like, nah, it's cool. And they're just like, wait, what? And they're like, no, it's cool. And he's like, well, all right, I don't feel comfortable about this, and I feel like someone's gonna get upset about this, so I'm gonna leave you my contact information right here in case something comes up later when someone asks about what happened with that. And they were like, okay. No, they were just like, okay, whatever. And literally nothing happened. That's the end of the story. That's what's funny is I was reading about this. And Rob, our guy that works with us to help find the Droner News stories, was telling me about it, and I was sitting there on the edge of my seat like, okay, and then just nothing. That's it. That's the whole story. And for me, it's crazy because the first story we talked about is how the U.S. military is like, die! Like trying to kill all the drones that just fly over everything. And this guy lands a drone on the biggest naval warship that they have, and they're just like, nah, it's cool, it's fine. Have a good day. So yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of I look at it in two angles. One side is that this is awesome that the UK is so relaxed with their drone laws and it's like, whatever, what could you possibly do? But then on the other side of it, you could look at like why Japan banned drones in general is because somebody dropped a you know, a radioactive isotope on top of the Japan, on top of the prime minister's house or whatever, wherever he was going to be. And, you know, drones can carry dangerous things, and they don't care. UK, they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I feel like the UK should probably be slightly more concerned, but I'm a huge fan of the laissez-faire attitude anyway about drones. So interesting story, and I'm really happy that my brother didn't get in trouble and he followed up. That's what's really important. You followed up and you made sure that you weren't doing something wrong. So good on you, and hopefully good things happening in the future for you. Droners, thank you for checking out this edition of Droner News. And if you're curious to who that guy was in the last video that I made, that's actually the producer guy, Rob, that I was talking about. But also, if you want to see more Droner News, we have it right here. Or if you want to see the greatest opening video to a drone channel that ever has existed, we got it right here. As always, make sure that you go ahead and support us by checking our Patreon page, or there's a link for Spreadshirt below. You can get one of these fly droner shirts, pun intended. And as always, make sure you subscribe, because that's what we need to keep doing what we're doing, and make sure you stay fly.